welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm talking about the top 10 scary government secrets soon to be declassified. So in the United States, the declassification process is as follows. By Executive Order 12526, documents are considered for declassification after 10 years. Now they're automatically declassified after 25 years unless they fall within 9 exceptions. Documents classified still at 50 years need to meet 2 exceptions, and items classified beyond 75 years require special permission. So with that in mind, there will soon be freedom of information on a lot of big events. This is why they say that time reveals all. I guess maybe not all when it comes to the US government, but some. Before we get into this video, why don't you guys let me know what secrets you think the United States government is hiding. For example, do you think they know more about alien life than they're letting on? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm also not trying to send you a secret message with my dodgy nails, 2 of them just popped off, so Alright, let's do this. Coming in at number 10, we have more MKULTRA. Sometimes the declassification of files reveals the wildest of conspiracy theories to be true. There was a rumor way back in the 1970s that the government was trying to find a way to control people's minds. The project involved human experimentation, and the United States citizens were unwittingly doped with LSD. They underwent hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, and torture. John Greenwald, founder of disclosure site The Black Vault, obtained information on MKUltra via the trusty Freedom of Information Act in 2004. But many files are still missing, and many more were actually destroyed. Shockingly, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered all of the MKUltra files to be destroyed in 1973. In 2018, more than 4,000 new MKUltra documents were requested from the CIA after a successful crowdfunding campaign. It seems that the new records will be released shortly and will contain undisclosed information on the behavior modification efforts. Coming in at number 9, we have PPD-29. Catchy. In 2015, Obama released his new hostage policy, which was called President Policy Directive No. 30. Now, the last publicly announced derivative was PPD-28, which led people to realize that 29 must have been passed under the radar. PPD-29 is clearly a secret national security order. This literally is a secret, so I have no idea what to tell you other than it exists, and in 6 years' time its declassification will be up for discussion. We may find out sooner if the law ever needs to be executed publicly, although as it's in the national security interest, we probably don't want to find out until it's declassified. Coming into number 8, we have swine flu. Okay, hands up if you actually contracted swine flu. Me, but I wasn't living in the United States, so maybe this doesn't apply, but still, it sucked, although I've never been as skinny as after I recovered. Swings and roundabouts. So it's been 10 years since the outbreak of swine flu, which caused a global pandemic, but actually it turned out to not be as bad as everyone thought it would be, thank goodness. Nonetheless, 10 years means that documents regarding the government's knowledge on the epidemic are soon to be declassified. It seems from a Forbes article that something shady may have been going on with the government and swine flu. The article suggests that not only were sick pigs not being monitored, but also that the government-funded Center for Disease Control were very protective of their data. They were not fulfilling the public health mission by sharing their findings. Coming into number 7, we have quote-unquote Sicko Jokes. In September 2018, it was revealed that the Cold War era jokes had been discovered among millions of declassified documents regarding Soviet Russia. The CIA's deputy director in the 1980s received a document entitled Sicko Jokes. It was a file of jokes told amongst Soviets themselves about their own leaders. One corker from the era was, "A worker stands in line at a liquor store. They say, 'I've had enough. Save my place. I'm going to shoot Gorbachev.' 2 hours later, he returns to reclaim his place in line. His friend asks, 'Did you get him?' To which they reply, 'No, the line there was even longer than the line here.' Troll-a-lol-a-lol, some classic 1989/90 humor. Sure. Gorbachev, of course, was the last leader of the Soviet Union and at the helm amid its collapse. My point being that if the CIA had a list of jokes about the Soviet Union, they absolutely have documents containing loads of jokes for all political leaders, and honestly, I kinda wanna hear them. Building on from that, Soviet secrets are coming into number 6. In the name of access to information, which is something democracies are supposed to champion, the CIA is obliged to declassify documents. Sure, one way they get around this is by releasing a whole load at the same time and hoping that the juicy information, the shady information, goes unnoticed in the sea of data. This may or may not have been their thought process when they released millions, actually millions, of Soviet-era files in 2017. It's already been revealed that the CIA recruited mind readers to spy on Soviets, with the job title Remote Viewers in something called Project Stargate. What do the other 12 million files have to reveal? I'll have to wait and see, but I don't know, Project Stargate sounded pretty exciting. Okay, I swear, this is the last I will mention Russia in this list, but now seems like a good time to mention Donald Trump's Russia release at number 5. In late 2018, Donald Trump ordered the release of classified documents regarding the Russian interference with the 2016 election. The White House announced that the press had asked the Justice Department and the Director of the National Intelligence to publish secret material. On September 6, 2018, he tweeted, "Maybe declassification to find additional corruption." He was seeming to suggest that there was some kind of deep state working to undermine him. This statement came a year after it was revealed in declassified documents that Russia did actually interfere with the election. By the end of September 2018, Trump had backed down somewhat on the document release and asked a justice watchdog to review the Russian docs. Coming into number 4, we have weapons of mass destruction. It has been 18 years since the War on Terror began and 16 years since the onset of the Iraq War, when the United States decided to invade the Middle Eastern country. Some documents have already been declassified, the rest may come at the 25-year mark in 2026 and 2028, so not long now. In 2015, the CIA seemingly declassified the documents justifying the war, 2 years after President Obama declared the war over. The document was from 13 years prior and was supposed to be a justification for the war, but in actuality it revealed that the US were lacking, and I quote, "specific information on many key aspects of Iraqi President Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction." Basically, the declassified documents show that it was all a little bit of a ruse. The declassified document led to Congress concluding that the Bush administration had overstated the Iraqi threat. I wonder what else we will learn about these so-called weapons of mass destruction from the documents when they're declassified. Coming into number 3, we have the JFK assassination. John F. Kennedy Jr. was assassinated over 50 years ago, and there are still a lot of questions surrounding his murder. The official line is that the perpetrator was Lee Harvey Oswald, but there are a number of conspiracies that suggest that this isn't the full story. There has been a slow release of classified files on the November 1963 assassination of JFK, but of course, thousands remain a secret. Donald Trump released further Kennedy files to the public, but the full story is of course yet to come. Not all of the documents were released, some were very much held back, so the full story on one of the most high-profile deaths of all time is yet to be told. Coming into number 2, we have Guantanamo. Guantanamo Bay was set up by the George Bush administration in 2002. It is a United States prison camp filled mainly with suspected terrorists. Rumors of detainee torture and imprisonment without trial were very much just rumors, until the CIA were forced to declassify a number of reports on the controversial prison. I'll read an excerpt from a Guantanamo Bay document I found in the FBI declassified vault. On a couple of occasions, I entered an interview room to find a detainee chained hand and foot in the fetal position to the floor with no chair, food or water. Most times they had urinated or defecated themselves and had been left there for 18 to 24 hours or more. On one occasion the air conditioning had been purposefully turned up so far that the temperature was so cold. The detainee was barefoot and shaking from the cold. On another occasion the AC had been turned off completely, making the temperature in the unventilated room well over 100 degrees. The detainee was almost unconscious on the floor with a pile of hair next to him. He'd literally been pulling it out throughout the night. The report also mentions the sound torture that had been rumoured. The information was supposed to be declassified in 2031, but during the Obama administration there was a data dump of declassified Guantanamo documents. Again though, there are still thousands of files waiting to be released which will further reveal the extent of government torture and more. Finally, coming into number 1, we have 9/11. It has been 18 years since 9/11, so does that mean in 6 years time we're gonna find out exactly what happened? Will we read classified government documents that detail exactly how the planes hit and what it took to melt steel beams? Will we find out more about the alleged pipeline through Afghanistan? Was there advanced knowledge of an attack? Did the government ignore warnings? My guess is we're gonna need to wait longer than the usual 25 years for these answers, as likely the classified documents are still pretty sensitive. Some answers are coming though. Many documents have already been declassified. The Obama administration famously declassified the final 28 pages of the December 2002 report. This was conducted by the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Honestly, I think in my lifetime we will have more answers. I really hope so. So guys, that was the top 10 scary government secrets soon to be declassified. Honestly, I do find the whole thing fascinating. I have to admit it is hard to preempt what secrets we're going to discover, but we know which directions they will likely come from. I would love to know what you think to this video. Also, do let me know if you think the government knows more about alien life than they are letting on. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to check out the links in the description box for the social media of everyone who went into making this video. Before I leave, I just want to read some comments from the top 10 scary haunted castles. Now, a lot of you guys loved my dark arts t-shirt. I got it from Loot Crate, by the way. Shilek said, I'm actually related to the owner of Fraser Castle in Scotland. What? Jesus Christ has said, I haven't been to it, but my parents own small parts of a castle in Scotland. Honestly, what is happening with all of you most amazing viewers being Scottish castle owners? Have a gal over for a feast, will you? I'll bring the mead, you bring the castle, and I'll come to it. Dino Dave said, went to White Castle once, not the best. Ho ho ho, Dave. I like what you did there. People are all about the sliders, but I have to admit, that's one castle I've never been to, and probably will never go to. Although never say never. White Castle, if you're watching, maybe I'll come if you throw me a feast. It all comes back to feasting, doesn't it? Okay, I'm hungry, so I need to leave and go and have a feast, it seems. Once again, if you do like this video, do make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, stay subscribed to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll see you soon. That is both a threat and a promise. Bye!